to your first flipped lesson video on how to watch a flipped lesson video. You can see it's flipped lesson 1. Let's talk about the learning objectives of this video. I'd like you to learn what to do before watching a flipped lesson video, to learn how to watch and take notes on a flipped lesson video, and also what to do after watching and taking notes on the video, both at home and in class. So you're about to take notes about taking notes, so grab your notebook and something to write with, and write the following heading on the page. Now, on the following slides, you're going to learn lots of guidelines and helpful hints. When you're done, you should have notes about how to take notes. So now that your heading is set up, let's set the mood. The way you do this is you gather your materials and get everything ready. So you should have your composition notebook and a writing tool to take notes. You should be sitting in a quiet, distraction-free setting. Your phone should be silenced. All other tabs and windows should be closed on your device. You should not be connected to social media, and you should have a set of headphones to watch the video. Now that the mood is set, let's talk about what your notes should look like. Here's a blank piece of paper, and here's what your notes should look like when they're all done. So to start taking notes, you're going to draw a horizontal line 1 inch from the top of the page, and then a vertical line 1 or 2 inches from the left side, left of center. So that's these two lines that I've pointed to here. Then you're going to take your notes, and when you're done taking your notes, so this is not something that you would do now, but when you're done, you would draw a horizontal line 1 inch from the bottom, and then another horizontal line 1 inch above that line. So these two lines that I've just pointed to. And so that would be at the bottom of the very last page of your notes. When you first start watching a video, though, your page should look like this. You've got this horizontal line 1 inch from the top, and then this line, vertical line, that's left of center. Now, here's what goes in each of these sections. In this section, you should write the date. This section is for the title or heading, and generally it'll be the title of the video that you're watching. Your notes will go here, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. At the bottom of the last page, you should first have a summary, and then the very last section is for any questions you have about the video. And you need to write at least one question every time you watch a flipped lesson video. So this is from a zoomed out what your notes should look like. Zooming in a little bit more, in the left-hand column, just like with 2-column notes, you should have your main ideas, headings, key questions, and key vocabulary. And details that back up the main ideas go in the right-hand column. And you can use bullets, numbers, letters, or a combination of these things to write your details. The important thing is that the details on the right should go with the main idea next to them on the left. So these notes are not set up correctly because it's very clear that these details on the right don't go with these main ideas or topics on the left. So at this point, if you were taking notes in the way that I've suggested, and if your notes were set up and formatted correctly, this is what your notes would look like. So let's say that this is supposed to be the top of your page, and so you've got a big heading up here, note taking, and then the date, the title of the video on the top, and then on the left hand side you've got the main idea of the section of this presentation that you just looked at, and then the details about that main idea, setting the mood, on the right. So now that you have an idea what your notes should look like, let's move on to how to actually take notes. First, it's important to think about what you're going to use this information for and how you can make it stick for you. Some really helpful hints for taking careful notes from a video. Draw appropriate pictures, diagrams, and charts in your notes. Frequently pause the video to take notes. Rewind the video when you don't understand things. When the teacher tells you to pause the video and solve a problem or write something down, do it. If there are questions to answer in the video, respond to the best of your ability, and you may need to pause to answer or respond to the questions. And write down questions in your notes from the flipped video when you don't understand something. This is really important because you might watch the video on a Tuesday and we might not discuss it in class until Friday. And you might forget your questions between the time that you watched it and the time that we talk about it in class. So it's really important that you write down any questions you have about the video in your notes. Another hint for taking notes on a flipped lesson video is to listen for signposts. Signposts are phrases or words that your presenter uses to help you tune in to and stay focused on the presentation. They're clues to the organization of the presentation. So here's a few examples of signposts. The first is, there are 3 reasons, and then you can listen for the 3 reasons. Another really simple signpost is first, second, third. Another signpost is, and most importantly, which is a hint that an important idea is coming, probably something that you should write down. And the last example of a signpost I've given is, that was the first topic, now I'm going to talk about. And that's when your presenter is moving from one topic to another. Other things to watch or listen for: if there's text in the presentation or video, watch for bold or highlighted terms. Pay attention to section headings. And also, if the presenter gives examples, you might want to write some down. Probably not all of the examples provided, but the ones that are most helpful for you. Finally, keep it short. Keywords and concepts, not whole sentences in your notes. Skip lines frequently when taking notes. And develop your own system of abbreviations and symbols. I've given you some examples below. Here's a great example of a signpost. After you've finished taking notes from the video, you're not done yet. Let's talk about what to do after watching the video at home. First, review your notes. Do they make sense? Make sure they are accurate and complete. Add anything that you think is important, and add anything needed for clarity. Go back and re-watch parts of the video if needed. After you review your notes, that's when you create these 2 boxes at the bottom of the last page. And you may remember I said that the first one is a horizontal line. Hold on, I did something wrong. Okay, wait. There we go. Okay, the first one's a horizontal line 1 inch from the bottom, and the next one is a horizontal line right above that horizontal line. And just a reminder that you need to label these boxes. The first one is summary, and the next one is questions. Then write a 1 to 3 sentence summary of what the lesson was about in the summary box, and write any questions you have about the lesson in the questions box. And remember that you must write at least 1 question after every flipped lesson video. Alright, so that's all you need to do at home. Let me tell you what's expected when we talk about the video in class. First of all, you should be prepared to share your notes summary. Bring your questions and ask your classmates or your teacher for help and clarification. Collaborate with your peers to try to figure out the lesson and answers to your and others' questions. Offer to help peers with things that you understand. And accept support from your peers when they understand more than you. So that's it. Let's go back to the learning objectives. The first was to learn what to do before watching a flipped lesson video and how to set the mood. The second is to learn how to watch and take notes on a flipped lesson video. And the last was to learn what to do after watching and taking notes on the video, both at home and in class. That's it. You're done.